Now, one of the things we've got to reconceptualize, and that's why I think your question is so good, is the very concept of work. We have had a situation of the 20th century when all work that was not labor disappears. It disappears from our statistics. It disappears from our measures of national income. It disappears from our textbooks. It disappears from common discourse. So all the work that women in particular do that's unpaid, which is most valuable, has disappeared. It has no value. And the labor unions and the social democrats have played that line. They have concentrated on laborism, labor. But think of all the essential work that not only women do, but some men as well, not only in care work, caring for your children, caring for the elderly, caring for your community, acting in the commons, producing beautiful things that get zero value. We have to rescue the sense of work, and then we can revalue what it is we want to produce and what we value in terms of our national income measures, and get away from this crazy measure of GDP growth as measuring whether society is successful or not, because that way leads to the road to extinction, the ecological collapse that's coming towards us. We need to redefine growth. Whether you use the term degrowth or a revived sense of what it is we mean by development, whether you're a rich country or a poor country, we need to rethink that. And we also need what I've called in a new book, it's about to come out, a politics of time. We want to rescue time. And that means we have to reconceptualize what it is we are measuring when we talk of time. The ancient Greeks taught us that leisure is not just recreation. It's separate from recreation. Leisure meant to the ancient Greeks schole or skole, and it meant public participation in the life of the polis. And so far under capitalism, we have had civic privatization in the sense that everybody is spending more and more time either consumption or labor or work to help with labor, but have lost the capacity to be public citizens. Not everybody, but most people. They have become reduced to consumers of politics rather than participants. And we need to rescue that sense of leisure from the ancient Greeks and the sense of commoning, shared activities. You have had the famous kibbutz movement, but it's not only that form of commoning, it's the commoning of connecting with nature, sharing in nature. And I think that this transformational moment will give the precariat, which is not habituated to performing full-time labor and will not want that. They will want to revive a sense of work that is dignifying, emancipatory, useful, and socially useful. And I think these words are things that are where we should be pitching our vocabulary. Because at the moment, the old social democratic vocabulary and the old socialist vocabulary is all about labor. They want everybody to be in jobs, 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 jobs. Let us stop making a fetish of jobs. They're instrumental. I have never worked harder than since I stopped having a job. Most people want to work on their enthusiasms, on their creativity, on their being in a bookshop or whatever. Let us escape from jobism. I see you smile, and I hope that the smile is a smile of recognition, because that is what we want to do. We want to get away from this old social democratic nonsense. Being in a job is being in a position of subordination, subordination to a boss. What's so magical about that? I mean, the human being doesn't start life thinking, I must be in a job. It's crazy. So for me, we do need a new vocabulary, but the precariat understands that. Labor unions don't seem to learn. And that's why often before the pandemic, whenever I gave a talk to a group on the precariat, I could safely say that if I wanted to drive them all to rush to the nearest bar to have a beer, I would start talking about labor unions. Because they would say, labor unions don't do anything for us. Labor unions, we need unions. We need unions. Don't get me wrong, but the type of labor unions that we've had with old dinosaurs are no longer suited. We need a different form of union.